So several years ago I wrote a post on my blog about writer's block, and I came across it recently. I occasionally go back through my old blog posts just to check that all the links are still working and that sort of thing. And I came across this article that I'd written, and I realised that much of the advice that I was giving regarding writer's block applies to painter's block. You know, those times when you're just not got the motivation, or you just can't quite get into the zone and get the painting done. And you know, motivation can be low for lots of different reasons. You know, maybe you're just busy with lots of other things, or you're just tired and your work and life commitments are getting in the way. And you know, sometimes just the thought of picking up a brush can fill you with dread. And you know, if you don't tackle it, it can become a longer term problem. And next thing you know, you're not painting for ages. And so I do think that a lot of the advice that I was giving regarding how to overcome writer's block, those techniques for getting you restarted again, to sort of reboost, give yourself a jump start in effect, they still apply to when you want to get back into painting. So here's some quick tips on how you can push past that painter's block and get back to doing what you love and painting some minis. Now this is a strange one. I would say brainstorm. Take your original idea and run with it. You know, grab a sheet of paper and do some writing. Write down what it is you're trying to achieve with your miniatures. Now, if you're doing you know, a less than historical set of painting, then the creativity is entirely up to you. If you are trying to paint historical figures, then obviously make some notes on the colours that you need to achieve, or the overall look that you want. You know, do you want pristine figures, or do you want them to look battle torn, and so on. And just make some notes, and just sometimes writing these things down can really give you a boost and make you get back into the zone. So the other thing I think is always worth doing is just taking a short break. Don't force yourself, you'll do yourself an injury, right? Sometimes all you need to do is take a break away from the painting table. Take a short break, 10 minutes or so, think about something else, or look at a different project. And then I'd suggest keeping a notebook. Now, I've done videos on this before. I always carry a notebook of some kind around with me, and particularly when I'm thinking of ideas for the videos, or just making down notes for things that I'm going to paint, or models that I need to buy, or games that are coming up. But sometimes it's, you know, it's well worth having a painting diary as well. You know, like I say, I've done videos on this in the past, and you know, if you're reaching that little bit of painter's block and you're just feeling a little bit stuck, you know, get your painting diary out, have a look at what you've worked on before, and see if there's anything in there that will inspire you and get you going again. Another thing you can do is just inspire yourself by looking at some of your old miniatures. You know, look at what you've painted before and see if that can rekindle your enthusiasm for a project, particularly if you've got other figures for the same project. You know, have a look at them. Spend some time having a mental exercise where you, without looking at your notes, you try to remember how you did the painting. You know, how did I come up with that colour, or how did I do that shading, or how did I achieve that weathering effect, or whatever. And just spending that little bit of time concentrating and thinking on it. You're not painting, you're not writing anything down, you're just having a thought exercise, and that can be actually quite stimulating to get you going again. You know, it can help you to replicate earlier work and obviously provide consistency across the project, but it can also give you a fresh look at a project. Now, here's a strange one. I would suggest change your medium. Now, when I was doing the article about writer's block, I suggested putting away the pen, getting out pencil, and just writing in a different material can sometimes, I don't know why, it just works. It's a strange one. Now, the same goes for painting. What I'd say is, if you're always painting acrylics, have a go at something completely different. Use some contrast paints, or use some enamels, whatever it is. You know, try something completely different, just as a small side project, just to sort of give your mind a break from whatever it is you regularly do. You know, changing your painting medium might unlock your enthusiasm back for your original project. Now, I've already mentioned getting yourself inspired. Well, do that big time. Get some really good music on. Look at some pictures, or maybe even listen to podcasts, or watch a film that is specific to the period you're playing. take that bit of time out to rekindle your enthusiasm for a particular project. You know, try to re-find what it was that got you fired up to start in the first place. And just taking a break from big projects. You know, you're painting an entire regiment, or you've got half an army left to go and you're just really feeling low. Go back to your original source of inspiration so you can get going again. Another key bit of advice I think I would give is keep yourself busy. Always work on more than one project at a time. I never have less than one thing on the table. I've always got at least 2 things on the go at any one time, sometimes more. And it means that, you know, if I've sort of need to take a break, or even if I'm just waiting for paint to dry, I can move over and try something different. And keeping your mind busy and active and doing different things can actually keep your energy levels up. You know, obviously if you ever find that bogs you down, then put one of those projects aside. But if you just need a break from the thing that you need to slog on, you know, you've got a big project and you need to get it done, and it can be hard to keep your enthusiasm going for that, intercut with something else so that you can, you know, take a mental break from the big project that you know is a piece of work rather than an enjoyment thing. You know, you've got to actually put some effort into it. Put it aside for a little while, take a break, do something completely different. Doing that might even throw up some interesting crossover ideas, especially if you're in fantasy settings. You never know what ideas it might give you. And then if all else fails, surf the net and come here on YouTube and watch silly videos like this that tell you how to overcome painter's block. You know, the internet is a wealth of ideas and stimuli, and, you know, I'm not pretending that I know all the answers. Go out there and have a look, see what other people have said. Google completely random stuff. You know, read some blogs, look at pictures, ramble through the stranger and other dimension that is the World Wide Web. You know, inspiration is just a click away. You never know what you might find. And again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about taking a break from something. If you're feeling stuck, take a short break. Don't force it. Take a break. Try and get your inspiration up again. So get on the internet and have a little look and see what's out there, to see what can stimulate your creative juices again. Well, I hope you found that interesting, and of course I'd love to hear from you to find out, what do you do when, you know, your creativity is low and your enthusiasm for painting is low? How do you overcome painter's block? So I'd love to hear from you, obviously, in the comments below or over on my blog, Big Lee's Miniature Adventures. And of course, if you did enjoy today's video, please like, subscribe and share. So until next week, as always, look after yourself, stay safe and keep rolling high.